Hello, podcast listener. I want to address something before we start this episode. None of this was made with AI. Not a single part of it. So enjoy George R. Meet Warp. And by the way, if you'd like to help support our podcast, visit jjmeetsworld.com where you can donate to our Patreon, pick up some killer swag at our merch shop, or click the link to Apple Podcast and give us a 5-star review.
1, 2, 3, 4. J.J. Gordon, sort of like that Indiana Jones, in that he's always sniffing out his next adventure. Yes, he is. He's always interviewing guests so he can have them on his show and they can talk about pop culture, arts, and leisure. J.J. has his flag unfurled and he likes his french fries curled, and he's fun and then he twirled as he goes to meet the world. He will march into the rain even if his ankle sprained. Take a peek inside his brain. This podcast is called J.J. Meets World.
I was going to start with something, but I can't say it because there's a chance that the person I was going to say it about could maybe hear this podcast at some point, but it's really good. And so this is what I'm going to say. If you happen to bump into me in the real world, ask me about it and say like, hey, remember that thing that you're going to say, but then you couldn't because you worried that someone would actually hear it. I want you to ask me about that at some point.
I'm not going to ask you.
Okay.
Who or what
it
is or what you were going to ask.
Mm-hmm.
But what would their reaction have been?
If the person actually had heard this, they would Google the reference and they would be heartbroken. So here's what I'm going to have you do. You're going to cut this next chunk out and we're just going to jump to you reacting to the thing I tell you about, okay?
Got it.
So, Tucker, this is to help you. 1, 2, 3, cut. cut back. Do you see why I can't tell you that?
Yeah.
Because if that person had heard that, oh.
Yep, nope. That one's lost to time. I don't even know what you said.
No, good. I also, Tucker and I happen to be in our separate homes, but on a video screen right now. And I'm wearing a shirt that's very similar to my skin color, but also sort of blends into the chair I'm sitting in as well. And I like looking at myself like this. But I want to tell you, Tucker, I've grown into being an older man, okay? And I've started really getting into the things that like older men need to get into and taking it seriously. Here is an example. I have purchased 4 in the last 2 years nose and ear hair trimmers, and I have not found one that I like. And that became a big problem because I'm starting to get hair in my ears and I'm starting to have nose hair that I can't really do anything with. It's clumping inside of my nostrils. So I did something about a year ago. I bought a nose and ear waxing kit, but I have not used it until about 3 months ago. And I used it and it changed my life.
Yeah.
And I just used it again today because we're rehearsing this play within a movie.
Yeah, we're in the midst of production of God Save the Queen.
And I was like, I don't want people to have to see my nose hair. Gross. And so here's the way it works. They gave me, it's like a little plastic beaker for experiments. And it's got amounts written on the side of the beaker. And it's got a little pour, like the little pour lip on it. And it says, you need to put 20 milliliters of water inside of this. So I put 20 milliliters of water inside. And then if someone were to give you a paper cup with ranch dressing in it, do you know what I'm kind of describing? Like if you were, it's not a plastic cup, but a little paper cup for like condiments and stuff like that.
Yep.
So then they have about 30 of these plastic or little cups, and the cup fits right inside of the top of the beaker. So essentially there's water underneath, but it doesn't touch the cup. The cup sits in there, and then you put these little tiny beads in that are wax. And it's a special kind of wax because I did some research to say, can I use wax from a Yankee Candle to wax my nose? The answer is no. They do not recommend that because it's a different type of this is like a sticky kind of wax that like hardens really quick. The stuff from a Yankee Candle is kind of greasy and smooth. So, just so you know, you can use it for eroticism versus this one you would not use because it would stick to your hair and your skin. It would pull your hair right off your skin.
Bad for pubes.
Right, and this does not smell like a Macintosh apple, clean linen, or lilac nights. So you put it in there for 60 seconds, and it melts. The little wax, little dots melt, and then they give you what look like, like a king's scepter. You know how it's like the rod, and then there's a ball at the top? Yeah. So it's like that, but it also has like a small little disc right below the ball, and you put that in and you twist it around, and then you create this kind of conical shape of wax, and then you shove it up your nose. And then you have to wait 2 minutes.
Okay. I figured that there was a waiting period for the wax to really take hold of them nostril hairs.
And it is a humbling 2 minutes because if you have to talk to someone, you have this giant stick sticking out of your nose, and you can't really talk like you're supposed to because it's really ruining how you can vocalize. And then you grip when it's time to pull it. You grip the bridge of your nose, and you're like, I'm gonna tug it, and it's gonna come out. And you tug it, and it doesn't come out right away, and you go, oh God damn it! And I've done this 3 times now, and every time I have panicked, and I'm like, I'm going to have to go to the hospital and live like this for the rest of my life. And so you do the first tug, and it doesn't come, and you're like, oh, God. So you do a second, and you're like, I can feel it kind of pulling, but it's not great. And so then you go, I am going to suck it up, and I'm going to pull this thing out of my nose, 1, 2, 3, and you pull, and it doesn't come the whole way, but then you just whip it the rest of the way off. And then you have this painful but blissful feeling because there's nothing inside your nostril now. It is clear. Oh God, like immediately, but there's still the residual pain of having this, like the pain of it. And then you make the mistake of looking at it and you go, oh my God, this is so much nostril hair. And why are there little foresty clumps of them like together in certain areas? This is what is inside my nostrils. I am almost 6'4". People are looking up my nostrils all the time. And then
they're going to see your brain now.
They will see my brain. So then I throw it away. But then comes the big problem. You've only done one nostril, buddy. You got a whole nother nostril left.
Part 2.
And you think, I'm going to rectify the mistakes that I made the first round? And you don't. Do you think you're going to be better, but you're not? And you get it taken care of. And then you say to yourself, you know what? While I'm doing this nostril, though, I'm going to do my 2 ears at the same time. Because really all I'm doing is putting it in what I call the ear U's. Where like, the ear kind of comes up a little bit, but dips down into what you would call the actual earlobe. And so I do that. So now I've got 2 sticks sticking out of my ears and 1 stick sticking out of my nose. And I wait the 2 minutes. And then I pull the nose first. And then the ears are always easier to pull. And you don't get like quite as much, right? Like I'm not manufacturing enough ear hair at this point for it to go like, oh, this is disgusting.
I've got a pretty solid amount. I can even pull it out here.
Do you?
I'm gonna see if I can catch the light with it.
Yeah. I've got gray hairs at my temples. I'm starting to gray a little bit there. I can see maybe, is there a little gray in your beard? A little salt and pepper in your beard?
I've got a lot of gray hair in my chin. Yeah. My chin's got a ton of gray on it. I get compliments for it, though. I like it.
Well, being the George Clooney of Fargo, which is how I'm branding myself now going forward.
Right. JJ, you and I are walking into the age now where if we really take care of ourselves, someone might consider us silver foxes. It's possible. It's not off the menu. No one's going to consider me a supermodel. No one's ever going to consider me like that. But I might be a silver fox at some point.
I think that there's more likelihood that someone would consider me a silver panda or or a silver honey badger. I don't think that they would call me a fox because foxes are sleek and distinguished. I'm more roly-poly when it comes to it. Do you are there aspects of aging that you are trying to buck the trend against at all? Like, is there anything that you're like, this is something I want to take care of? Like, you've always been a pretty good man for showing a virile sense of chest hair and such.
Yeah, I'm covered.
But is it like congregating near your belly button now and not much as the chest anymore or anything like that?
No, it's all over. Your body hair doesn't really recede.
Yeah.
The way your head hair does. Like, it sort of compensates for it.
Listen, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I've known plenty of people who say, like, yeah, it starts growing thicker in other parts of the body as time goes on.
No, I'm not keeping records of my thickness of my hair, but I'm embracing aging. I mean, at this moment, I am. I'm in my 40s, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I won't be in my 50s. Maybe I'm like, no, fuck aging. This is stupid. I hate this so much, right? But my 30s were a mess, but I survived them, and I've got all the lessons of my 20s and my 30s, and I get to like try new things and make new decisions and stuff. So right now, I'm kind of digging it.
Recently, I rode with you and your brother down to the lakes to help put the dock and the boat lift in.
Yeah, and we got to schedule time for me to crawl through your crawl space.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. I'm actually going to hopefully get like a bunch of high school kids to come help too. And I'm like, listen, I'll give everyone $50. Plus, I'm going to buy you all some pizzas. And you're going to help me get all the stuff. Because I was in that crawl space today and I hated it. I hate every minute of it. And you know what? You know what I'm going to do with all that furniture? Because I don't want to, like, I didn't get it out in time for cleanup week. And I don't want to go through the rigmarole of, like, having to bring it someplace. I am going to show it all to your dad, who will look at it and be like, oh, I could sell that on Facebook Marketplace. I could use that in my room. And he'll take all of it. And I know he will. And then I'll be like, I was thinking I should probably store it in case. No. Well, because I think he's still on episode like 4.
Yeah. So
JJ Meets World.
So I met him and my sister Brianna and her family who are now in town, and my older sister Shelly for dinner tonight. And so when I park, I run into Shelly like right away. So her and I are kind of walking together on the sidewalk to Rhombus Guys. We turn the corner, and I can see in the distance Dad is wearing his multi-technicolored hoodie. And I just said, gee, I wonder who that is. And I guess recently he met an old woman or someone who had the exact same hoodie. So I think it is confirmed to be like a grandma hoodie.
Ooh. I mean, I saw that picture and I just don't know the way that you can be like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
So he drove it, got into town yesterday, and the very first thing he does is he backs his trailer through his garage door. Because he was looking through his reverse cam and was just paying attention to how close his car was to the garage, but didn't take into effect the trailer itself.
And so it busted a glass, like a glass window. It busted glasses. 2 panels.
Yeah, and 2 glass windows.
Oh, boy.
Which we swept up. And he was in his really tight cut-off T-shirt. Where he had cut the sleeves off. I think it was a Superman T-shirt, and then he was wearing that holster that he loves to wear now with wallet on one side and the phone on the other. Mm-hmm. And he was like dead tired because he just driven for 2 days, and so I was like, "Hey, buddy, why don't you just sit down for a little bit and let me take care of this?"
In his rocking chair that he put in his room.
He would not. He would. Yeah, he was a mess.
Well, God love him, right? You know, like he made it back. He's good to go.
They're all back now.
If I die, this might be the cause, and I'd like you to.
When you die?
No. If I die, like in the next couple days.
Oh, okay.
Do you recall me talking about the skunk smell in my house? Like, and it turned dirty sock syndrome, right?
Yeah.
So I thought we had fixed that problem, but lo and behold, the smell has come back.
Oh, no.
And so today I was turning on all my hoses and I was doing some investigative sniffing around my house. And I think it might be a natural gas leak.
Ooh.
And like, no wonder I smelled it this fall because we are just turning on the heat for the first time that year. And like, you didn't need to run it all the time, right? Like you only had to run it for a little bit. So it was still like pumping in. But I think there's a gas leak outside and it's getting in through my fresh air intake.
Okay.
Right there. And so
it's in the neighborhood somewhere, but it's not
right
coming from your properties. Well,
it might be coming.
Step?
So I'm going to call the utility company and have them come and bring their gas detector. Mm-hmm. His name's George.
He's
no,
great.
I don't know. And so they're going to come and they'll do like a gas inspection. But here's the thing. Jill was doing a bunch of research and she's like, "Oh, lethargic, headaches, trouble concentrating." I was like, that sounds like us from this last winter. Oh. So what if we've had a slow gas leak and Jill and I have just become dumber and dumber and dumber?
Yeah, you definitely.
And then all of a sudden we are done with the gas leak and we're like, God, below deck sucks.
Yeah, like turns out all the things you've been into is just because you've been basically hallucinating.
Be like, oh my God, these fruit snacks taste like garbage. And everything, it turns out, is just a sad, cruel joke.
Well, I hope you called them first thing in the morning. So
I am, yeah.
Someone on that because that's.
I'm going to call them first thing in the morning, and then we'll have them come out. And I've had a lot of people come to my home lately, including I had an arborist come to take a look at a tree that needs some trimming. And I have a plumber who's going to come and take a look at a drippy faucet that I can't fix. And you know what? I've decided I'm going to let the professionals take care of it.
I made that observation at dinner tonight that I had really realized, oh, wait, this is what money is for when I just got my new dryer. And I didn't, the dryer stopped working. I had to
Can you tell us about your dryer?
Yeah, so my dryer, I go to dry clothes one day. And like it's getting electricity, the lights on it and whatever, and I put my wet clothes
quarters in,
and no quarters, luckily, and go to start it, and it just goes like and just stops, and then I can smell this little burning smell. I'm like, oh, that's not good. That's not good. At first, I'm like, did I pop the breaker or something? But no, that's fine and whatever. So I try it again, same thing. So I unplug that one, call a repair guy. Because there's a really nice appliance repair company in town. And he comes over, and his name is Chad. Shout out to Chad. He wasn't able to fix my dryer, but he was a nice guy. He comes in, and he's like looking at every one of my appliances and like slapping them like they're classic cars. And he's like, "Oh, this is a nice Frigidaire you got. This is a nice unit. These are solid. This is a workhorse. I used to have one of these. It really worked a long time for me." And I'm like, I don't know. I think it's kind of a shitty fridge, but okay. And then he looks at my clothes washers. "Oh, Whirlpool. This is a great model. These ones are always blah blah." I'm like, all right. And then he turns around and looks at my Kenmore dryer. And he's like, "Oh, I love these." So like this dude fucking loves appliances, knows them inside and out. But he goes, "But that's a 30-year-old dryer right there. So let's see what's going on the inside." And he opened it up and like you could just tell.
Was he whispering like, "Tell me your secrets, baby," and talking to it and like rubbing the drum?
If I hadn't been there, that was the direction that was going for sure.
Oh, you think you would have gotten like naked with your dryer?
I think so. But I also think he may have repaired it at that point. He would have found a way to make the motor work again.
Can I be honest? That sounds creepy, but that's the repairman I want.
Yeah, that's the guy you want. And right. I mean, it was, I had to do, at minimum, I had to pay for the inspection. He wasn't able to fix it for me, but whatever. But I wanted to, spend $80 and see, hey, can I just get this fixed instead of having to go get a whole new one? But I had to go get a whole new one. So I just go online. I'm like, washer or laundry dryer delivery install service Fargo. And it brings me to Lowe's, and I go to Lowe's, and they've got the whole thing set up right there. And they're like, you can buy your dryer right now, and you can pay right now, and we'll deliver it for you. We'll do the install, and we'll take the old one away for you. And I'm like, yes, all of that, yes, completely worth the money. And so I paid for it, and it was awesome. Like, I'm so used to going, oh, me see if I can just get a friend or someone to help me do whatever, which makes sense, right? If you're trying to save money. But now that I'm in a part of my life where I can actually pay for something like that.
We've got the monies.
It felt so good. It was even watching I was drinking coffee and watching the guys do it. And I was like, oh, that looks heavy. That doesn't look good.
Be like, by the way, I didn't take any of my stink out of that.
Yeah.
So anything that gets in your face, enjoy it.
Yeah.
The amount of do-it-yourselfness that I had put into the world for so long. Oh, what a fool's errand.
Huge waste
What a
of time.
fool I was to do those things.
I even just, as I've been looking around this house and I go, oh, wouldn't it be nice to do this change or that change? I've just gone, this is not even the house to make those changes to. Like, this is the house that you're in until you can get the house that's got the things that you need, right? Like, some houses, wink, wink, are just not worth putting things in, like trying to remodel and reshape and stuff. Sometimes you find a house and you're like, hey, this works for me right now. That's great. But am I going to sink a bunch of money into it? No, except for paying the mortgage and any repairs I got to do, any basic upgrades.
What's something that you'd like in a house right now that you don't have? Like, is there
Dishwasher.
something you've seen? Oh.
Dishwasher. That'd be
Now,
big.
what's keeping you from a dishwasher?
I mean, I think I've got everything I would need for it. I probably just need to buy it. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
But because
you'd lose a little bit. You'd lose a little bit of your cabinet space.
Yeah,
your
but-
lower
well,
drawer
and-
cabinet.
But also, I've been actually, for the first time in like my adult life, I've been running for like a good month now where I've been on top of my dishes as I've done them. And so I actually create so few dishes that even worrying about getting one right now, it's not really that important. I look forward to the day where dirty dishes go in the dishwasher and then when it's full, you just run it. Like, that'll be fun. But I don't really need it right now. What would I like to have? I'd love to have central air. Right now, I have a hole in the wall that someone forced like an old window unit in. I think what I'm going to do is find out if I can get central air and what it would cost me to get. And if it seems worth it, but maybe not something I do this year, then at the end of the summer, I think I'm going to maybe just get a contractor just to fill in that hole and like patch it and just make the wall whole again. And then just know what I have to plan for early summer, like when it's starting to get into spring, try to get central, installed or something like that. I could see myself doing that, but it depends on the price. It depends on the, what's it to you? What's it worth?
I would love a screened-in porch.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Right? Like, that's what I really desire right now, is to be able to, like, I read the better part of 2 Harry Potter novels in a screened-in porch. I mean, a screened-in porch is great because you can be out there while it rains. You can be out there, like, at night. Like, screened-in porches are the jam. I did do something, though. I've wanted to host some dinner parties this summer, and I did something dumb.
What'd you do?
Where I have an Amazon credit card, and so I make Amazon points, and I have a lot of points because I put everything on my credit card and just pay it off, right? So I've got a lot of points, and so I was like, oh, you know what I should do? I should buy 150 flameless LED flicker candles that look like they're real, so that I can have a candle-lit, like, dinner on my deck this summer. And there'll be so many candles that it'll be lit and it'll be beautiful. When those things come to my house, I'm going to look like a weirdo. Like, Amazon right now is like, oh, put this guy on our list. Start sending him Halloween decoration recommendations, some goth stuff.
Yep.
This guy is primed and ready to go, man.
It's pretty wild how quickly now the algorithm can get a hold of what it is you're interested in or looking for right now. I've been having a lot of upper back and like neck pain and stuff just from tension or whatever. And right now, like, it's like, oh, this guy probably needs 1 million of these ads for this device called the Hizu or something weird like that. And it's just a shoulder massager. And I never searched for one. I just, like, one day I think said out loud, God, my upper back really fucking hurts. And then it's like, sell him things.
Hey, speaking of backs, one of my favorite places in Walt Disney World is at the Disney World Polynesian Resort. There is a, like, Hawaiian-themed bar, and I think it's called Ohana, I think. But it's on the second floor of the Polynesian Resort, and it's right next to a restaurant. And they scoop out the entire insides of a pineapple and then fill it full of rum, and you can get a pineapple. And when I've gone for that Children's Miracle Network conference, that's like one of our things is we drink a couple pineapples and then ride the monorail for fun. And just have a great time. Be like, we're back at the Polynesian, man.
Nice.
But this last time we were there were a bunch of bros. There are a bunch of bros who are at this same place, and they ordered a drink called the Back Scratcher. And it's kind of a fun little name, right? But it comes with a bamboo back scratcher. And so these guys are scratching their backs with it because they think it's so funny. Under the shirt, mind you. And then they're putting that on the bar. And I was like, gross. That is disgusting. And then they left them there. And I said, well, hopefully they are throwing those away. And they're not like, well, we'll just put these back here and wait for some more, bros to come by and pick up a new back scratcher. Because that was disgusting. No thank you whatsoever. Now, that being said, I don't know if I've ever brought this up, but at one point, I worked on an idea for a theme park. And it was based around my core group of friends at the time. And each of the attractions that they were, like, for example, one of them was JJ's Hall of Tall Tales. And it's a story that you know, but it's been embellished delightfully. There was, like, the Dustin Buchanan ride, which turns out like there's no ride. You just wait in a line the whole time, and you get more and more frustrated until you finally give up. But my favorite was, and I won't tell you which one of these friends, but it was this person's name, Jungle Booze Cruise. And you get into this Jeep, it's a ride simulator with this guy, and he's drinking beer, and he's driving you through the safari, and like he's going off-road, and he's like, don't worry, my uncle owns all this property, so it's technically private property. And so he's driving around, and then at one point, because it's like a ride simulator, right? And so all of a sudden, like, this red and blue flashing lights are behind you, and the animatronic of this guy hands you like a beer, and he's like, put this between your legs, like, hold on to this, be cool. And the idea was like, it's so bumpy and off-roady because and I just remember thinking that was such a great idea for a ride. Booze Cruise. And it's a jungle one too. And so like you hit animals by accident. Like you're like, geez, was that a zebra? And it's just such a dumb idea. But I love it. I also so I had this big event this last Friday where it was they call it the Thespis. And it's the end of the year awards for the Fargo South Drama Department, okay? And the kids all vote on who it's going to be, and they all make the awards, and it's really cool. And one of the aspects of it is they pick a theme, and so the theme was fantasy. So people dressed up as wizards and steampunk, like fun stuff and dragonflies and all sorts of stuff like that. And I got an ice cream truck to come. So each kid got a coupon to go to an ice cream truck and choose their treat. Doesn't that sound awesome?
Mm-hmm. I want that now.
Right? And like the kids just didn't really think that was that cool. And I'm like, this is friggin' awesome.
I want a Snickers ice cream bar right now.
They had those.
Oh.
They had those at the Sweet Treats.
If only I was a Fargo South kid.
I know. The kid who ran the truck, his name was Colden. And I'm like, Colden? And you're running an ice cream truck? That's fucking awesome. So I have to make these little coupons because the ice cream truck is like, hey, make a little coupon that says it's good for this. And that way, like, kids won't come up and, like, be like, oh, I didn't get one yet. And be like, I thought you got one. No, I'm a different kid than the last one that you saw that looked like me. And so I make these coupons. These coupons are roughly the size of 2 business cards together. Okay, so that height and then double the length of a business card. And it's the Fargo South Theater logo on both sides. Below it, it says good for 1 ice cream treat, and then it's got the date. And I'm like, I should have something in the middle. And I would never make a poster or anything using AI. But I was like, I'll make a fun little image for this, right? And so I put into Google Gemini a picture of ice cream doing theater. And they made this amazing thing where it looked like a bunch of ice cream cones dressed up in Shakespearean like costumes, but it was an outside amphitheater called the Scoopington. And then there were like all of these ice creams sitting and watching it. I was like, this is actually kind of beautiful. Like, this is how I'd imagine an ice cream world. And so this image is tiny because it goes between the 2 logos, which is taking up like a third and a third, and then the other third, half of that is taken up by the a free ice cream treat and the date. I hand these things out, and these kids look at me like I slapped them in the face because they're like, AI, bleh, bleh, bleh. And I was like,
you know what? The kids are all right.
I know. I was like, I don't know if I'm proud of you or if I'm like,
proud of those kids.
Just go get your ice cream, kid. So the future's in good hands, I guess. Maybe something like that.
No, they're still screwed. They're still completely fucked. We all are.
You think so?
At least we still have ice cream, and they don't appreciate that fact yet.
They did, and like, there's someone who's like, I'm lactose. And I said, well, there's plenty of options that don't have dairy in it. They're like,
your
like
birth
what?
defects aren't my fucking problem.
Well, and I went out there and I was like, there are popsicles. There are, there were a ton of things that did not have dairy. And they're like, well, I didn't see those. But what? You just assumed ice cream truck and that's...
Remember in The King of Kong, A Fistful of Quarters?
Love that
Steve
movie.
Wiebe? Is that his name? Steve Wiebe. In one of his interviews, he's like sitting in his garage or something, and then you hear in the background his son going, "Dad, come wipe my butt! Dad,
no
come
more
wipe
Donkey
my
Kong!
Butt.
Mm-hmm.
Come wipe my butt!" That's like everyone now.
Do you remember how he answers it? Because this is what's unfortunate, and to put this into context, that videotape where the kid's saying, "Wipe my butt," is his high score, where he gets the highest score ever in Donkey Kong.
Right.
And so he has to submit the tape, and he's saying, "Hey bud, bring me some toilet paper and come in here, bud, and I'll help you. I'm about to get the high score." And no more Donkey Kong. It's a glorious moment captured.
I need to
on
rewatch
VHS
that.
for him, and then made into a documentary for everybody else.
Oh, I need to rewatch that. I know it's been on DVD, but it hasn't been released on Blu-ray, has it?
I don't believe it has.
Oh.
I actually think that there's a follow-up to it in the works.
I think it may have already been made. I'm not sure, but
maybe
you're right. Either it's in the works. I feel like I've seen a trailer, but I could be totally wrong.
Because the thing is like, so these guys are battling for the world's highest Donkey Kong score, and then the documentary comes out, and their scores are blown out of the water by people like in other countries who are like,
really?
Like the Japanese are like,
oh yeah,
okay,
yep.
Yeah, I'm just so impressed. I've been thinking about going to Japan.
Ooh,
I think it'd be fun to go.
What's gonna happen?
Well, I'm hoping for a kind of a
like a Last Samurai situation.
Yeah,
like
think that's gonna happen.
They welcome you and you adopt their culture, and you kind of show them some Western ways, and there's sort of like a cultural meld and better understanding. That's probably and then you'll defend them against enemies and.
I imagine there's a moment where they want to see how I look in the shower, but not to see me naked, but to see how big I am compared to their shower, and how like humorous that would be to them about how giant I am in their shower.
I'm gonna go wash my infected scratch. after
Okay.
this.
Okay. That sounds. We'll let you go do that. Bye. That's going to wrap it up for today's show. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to help us continue to produce new episodes each week, visit jjmeetsworld.com, where you can donate to our Patreon, pick up some swag at the merch shop, or follow our link to Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star review. You can also follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all the sites the cool kids are using these days. JJ Meets World is produced every week by Tucker Lucas. You can find out more about Tucker's work by visiting moonbasemaria.com. If you want to get in touch with your host with the most, check out linebenders.com, where you can find direct contact info for JJ or booking information.
I just noticed this too, that you and I's clothing, we look like a gender reveal.
And here's the thing. If you and I had a baby together, oh God, it'd be so beautiful. But it also would be hairy.